It always is when we get to this stage of the festival that the gear changes. There's a change in gear from buckling in, warming up, creating that chemistry between us, to actually setting some next steps. So we have another day of the festival tomorrow, and the way that we've scheduled the conversation is really intentional about how it grows and develops the thinking that we're doing together. I am well aware that some of these ideas are really old and have been percolating in your minds for a really long time about teaching and tutoring and education, the future of education and the needs of children being child-centered and inclusion and all of those things. And yet there's always more to do, and we here are innovating. So we're looking for our next steps. Who was it earlier? Somebody said, oh, Carl, you said it. I hope it gives the people the participants a moment of inspiration to see what you're going to do next. And every time we get together, somebody tells me what they've created since the last time we got together. And Charlotte, you asked me before whether I feel it's going well, and I feel like I know that last year went well because of how today feels, and I'll tell you about today next year, because really what we're doing is we're on a journey together. So what I need to show you now is the next steps of the qualified tutor journey, because yesterday we looked at love tutoring and how that's grown and developed and supported people all through the way. And I think like any kind of farming, we don't even know what seeds are out there sprouting, and they come to you at the right time. And yesterday we also spoke about quality assurance and the kind of behaviors that are likely to set you up for success in tutoring, whether you're an online school, whether you're an independent tutor, whether you teach 120 children a week? Oh, 160 children a week. There are so many different delivery models. And so quality, it's almost like quality first tutoring. Yeah? That structure that's enabling that is what we've been speaking about. Now, what I want to show you now is how Odette and I have brought it all together. And that process has been massive, because taking big ideas and making them accessible and building them out into baby steps, like anybody who's ever built a curriculum or anything that is supporting learners, is complex. And taking complex ideas and making them simple and accessible is the journey that we've been on. So I wanted to start with the importance of belonging. This is one of my favorite things that I don't know much about. There's a lot of them. This is blue zones. So blue zones are the places in the world where people live the longest. And there are places in Japan and places in California. And what's fascinating is there is no similarity in the weather. And there is no similarity in these places in the education system. The similarities are in how humans behave. And I think that this whole section here about belonging, loved ones first, right tribe, purpose, are the pieces that I am passionate about speaking to. I will almost never talk to you about healthy eating, so you have no worries there. But I do think that these opportunities that we have to get together are really, really interesting because they help us to develop our own well-being. Dame Alison spoke about poise, being able to show up in the classroom or in a tutoring session with poise. And poise is a really interesting word because that's inside out. That's not being that beaten down, morally injured human that many of us have been in the past. It's really setting yourself up as a person for success so that you can overflow to the success of the people that you're supporting. It's really trustworthy behavior. So being that trustworthy person who finds their tribe, who invests in their loved ones, who has a sense of belonging, how is that done? Because that's what I'm really, really engaged with right now. This is me. These are some of my clubs. These are the places I belong. In a Terry Pratchett book, in my kitchen, preparing for a bonkers festival that involved lots of flowers, with my kids at dinner, in London and Jerusalem as a qualified teacher, flirting with ADHD, eating kosher food, binging on Netflix, sharing Spotify with my children, which is extremely annoying because they keep messing with my algorithms and I end up listening to Cave Town when I want to listen to Marvin Gaye, and fair trade. And fair trade for me is a symbol that you've heard me talk about lots and lots of times, because I want qualified tutor to be the fair trade of tutoring. I want to provide parents, schools, tutors' clients with a quality mark that assures them that this tutor is through and through. And I want it to be that easy to recognize. Why? Because parents aren't specialists, because parents aren't educators, because parents don't have headspace. They're jolly well spending a heck of a lot of money. Let's make it easy for them to make good choices. The stakes are high. What we need to do is all the thinking to make it really, really simple. And that's what Odette and I have been engaged with. And then I stumbled across this last week. Charlotte, will you read it for me, please?
Yeah. Communities fill the space that Google and ChatGPT can't.
Communities fill the space that Google and ChatGPT can't. I just repeated it because I remembered about the microphone. What does that mean to you? Let's have a pause point. What does that mean to you? Because it knocked me sideways when I read it. And then put your hand up, and then contribute an answer. And Andrea's got the microphone, and it's all happening.
It's like a baton.
Oh no, I'm having an Annika Rice moment here.
The human touch.
The human touch.
I'll try and be quick, but earlier I think when the panel was up and they couldn't put that word about communities coming together, particularly physically, and I want to use this in the as non-religious as it can be, but that sense of the spiritual connection, something that's more transcendent than just the physical and so on.
Agreed.
Being spiritual,
and
however you want it to be.
Awesome. Go ahead, you do it. Do the thing.
I was just going to say a sense of belonging to something, something real.
I think I love this quote.
I know, right?
It is profound. I think there's a sense of something that is greater than yourself, that's beyond you, that you can contribute to, that you're a part of, right? And that you get to be a part of, which it's a position of privilege, and it's a place where you can just give. And I think giving feels so great. And that's what this makes me think of, right? You know, I get an answer from Google, I get something I need from ChatGPT, but a community just offers me a place to give someone a hug. And that's so wonderful.
Keep going, keep going, keep going. Wait, but I have to take notes.
To be honest, it was very, very similar. It's like what we've been saying all day. We can impart knowledge and we can teach, but of course, being there for our learners and actually being their person or their space where they feel safe and they're working at their pace for their interests, all of those things. That's what creates their community.
So it's about holding space.
Yes.
Nicola and then Vicky and then Nicola.
Mine was connecting, but also mine was there is something, even without us meeting in person, when I stumbled across the group, I can't remember how I came across it, and I wasn't a Facebook or anything else like that at the time. When I came across the group, there was something about the community, that something which is intangible, because it is, was made tangible. It was like, I think I used this phrase with someone earlier, I've now got my washing line and I've got a hook. And this is my tutoring. This is my ground. It's grounded. I think that's what it means to me.
Thank you. Thank you. Community is your grounding. It allows you to land.
I've just got 3 words. I do like things in threes, but it sort of springs to mind to sort of summarise a little bit. Positive, trusted relationships.
Positive, trusted relationships. So that's a whole workshop. Should we do that? Let's do that. Positive, trusted relationships is certainly going to be a requirement for any community, right? Building trustful spaces. So we've already spoken about the need for it, and now we're defining what that would look like. Kirsten, did you have a contribution? Or Lauren? Yeah.
It feels like home being here today. Doesn't it? Does it not feel like home? But I genuinely believe that, I said this yesterday, but I would have given up without this community. And it makes me quite upset to say, but genuinely, this is home.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. And we've got the tissues. Just to reiterate, no, it's okay, keep going. I'll tell you in a minute.
Well, I think the danger of not having communities and the ChatGPT thing, I'm a big fan, as you know, of it. But without it, we can get, and our children can get into the space where they believe that those things are real and that there is a human connection there. And as those spaces get cleverer and cleverer, they seem human and they seem connected. I mean, I talk to ChatGPT all through the night. She always talks back, and I've been accused of being a bit in a relationship with ChatGPT, but people have, and there have been people who have formed what they think are relationships like that aren't real.
What they think.
And when that's cut off, they can be very, very physical, as if it was a human connection cut off. So forcing ourselves to take the time out like this and invest in real human connections, and remember that Google and ChatGPT are the tools that allow us to be more human, not in any other capacity.
And free us up to be more human. Okay. So the word that I wrote down was spontaneity. Because in addition to these healthy behaviors and the security that they give us, there's also this energy, this excitement that something new can happen. So really, this came out of an online conversation with Ellie Bagel, who's not even in the room today, who was on one of our first training cohorts. And he posted this because he's working in AI at the moment. And I picked it up. And I posted that question about how do you research thought leaders. And David Spinks replied. And he said, "This makes me so happy." And all of a sudden, rather than being a Simon Sinek, he's one of us. And I made him happy, and I brought his idea to it. And he's a human too. And those spontaneous, interconnected opportunities that we create, alliances that we create, are so interesting because they're open-ended and messy, and we don't have to solve them, but we do have to simplify them. Is this what I wanted next? No, it's not. So we've spoken about safe, skilled, and supported, and we've spoken about relationship responsiveness and reflectiveness. And to my mind, everything that we've discussed in all the panels fall into those categories again and again and again. And now it's time to discuss how. So how are we going to build these good behaviors that are going to take us where we need to get to? And I'm hoping that the answer is about membership. I think these slides are in a really, really challenging order for me. So this is what I wanted to ask you. And I want you to lean into this. So I gave you my list of places that I belong. And I included Morrison's. And I included the Chartered College of Teaching. No, but really, Morrison's play the best music. They play 90s music. No, I'm not allowed to go in there because it's too much impulse buying. You know that. I've been thinking a lot about participation recently, about choosing my communities, about choosing where I belong. And I am a skilled consumer. I know how to choose the right vegetables. I know how to not get duped between the real Nescafe and the pretend Nescafe that's exactly the same pattern. My mom used to fall for that every time. My mom's Israeli, so she doesn't easily read the labels. So she picks up the visual cues and she's like, yeah, that'll do. Yeah? But we have been trained to be skilled consumers, and we have to be critical thinkers. There are some behaviors that I have decided recently not to participate in because they don't work for me, they don't make sense to me, I'm not aligned with them. So I think participation awards get a bad rep. But I think that there's a lot about participation that we could be really intentional about where we choose to participate, which communities we choose to be members of. So if you had to, and you've all got notepads in front of you, well done. If you had to list for me 5 places that you participate, can you give me those, please? 5 places that you participate. Could be your school environment. Or just think them through. I want 5 places that you participate. Where are you part of? So let me go back to... Where do you participate? Places that you feel at home. Okay, let me know when you've got them. I said 5 because it's the last one that's the juiciest. They don't know Brent Cross. You know I didn't put Waitrose. They don't let me in. Come on. Bring him.
I was about to say, I've got the mic, so...
Come on then. And the mic.
Well, QT, because
Yes.
I'm a suck-up.
You do, no, but you participate. Yes. You participate. And I appreciate that. And famously, when I get things wrong, Helen calls me and kicks my behind.
Gently,
and says,
gently kicking.
And lovingly and trustworthily, and that's really important. That's participating. Thank you. Go.
Do you want the list? My church.
Yes.
My friends.
Yes.
My town.
Yes.
Wait a minute, that's 4. You'd never guess I tutor maths, would you?
Have you not got another one? I'll give you maths.
Maths.
There you go.
That's 5. I can count. On.
Nicola, have you got them? Jason, I'm coming to you next.
Good. Who am I running to?
Nicola.
Yeah, I've got more than 5.
Yes! She's a participator. Give her an award.
Local primary school.
Yes.
I'm a governor. Parent groups. And a Facebook group called Not on Amazon, which is something I participate in a lot. About people who are selling their independent creative wares.
Interesting.
That's quite a good thing for me. And a charity called Plant Life, because plants are a big part of my science.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Pass it on to Jason.
So this is...
He's going to do 17. You know he is. Come on.
No, I can count. Counting is big. Sorry, there's a music maths pun in there somewhere. But we'll go for it. Yeah, we go to 4 usually actually. So you were bang on. Anyway, whatever. Yeah. Well, it does actually. Oh, great pianist over here.
Okay, so we're participating in weak maths jokes right now.
There's plenty of material there. I have not really thought this through. My village. Hayley,
yes,
tiny village north of Whitney. None of you know where this is. So anyway,
Andrew,
shout out to Hayley. I suppose like my student sort of kind of community, as it were. I sort of feel at home when I'm teaching wherever it is that I'm doing that in the various guises that I do that. But sort of friends, family. And now I'm running out of things to say here.
That's fine.
I'm going to...
That's fine. Andrea, what does the people say?
There we go. So Jade has just given us plenty. In fact, she's been on fire on the chat all day. She's been brilliant.
Awesome. Jade, we love you.
And Jade has just said her participation areas are her tutoring centre. Slowly, which I've not heard of, which she said is an app for sending virtual letters to pen pals. Love that. Busu, which is a language learning app where I help people learn English. All my online tutoring companies, so Lingo Ace, Tutorlo, Fluent B, and Litera. Gosh, she's so good. And Netflix as well. She shares that with you, Julia. So, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. One more. Who wants it? Kathleen?
got a lot, but work,
Yeah?
social media, family and friends.
Yes.
That's free for me.
Okay.
Cutie.
Okay, so why did I ask you about that? Because it's about being proactive and stepping into, yes? And there is no such thing as membership or belonging or finding your tribe passively. Now, there's also such a thing as readiness. So if you're not ready, that's fine. But when you are ready, I want you to know what Qualified Tutor is doing, okay? So Charlotte and I just had a conversation. Wouldn't it be nice if more people knew what this felt like, because it helps? So that's what I'm going to give you an opportunity to explore today. So we've done a heck of a lot of thinking, Odette and Hannah and I, about what you need and what that looks like. What does tutoring need? And we came up with DBS, and we came up with events, and we came up with coaching, and we thought about, nerd features over here, an onboarding tracker. Am I right? Yes? So that you don't have to hold all the information about where all your tutors that you've taken on are at the same time. And the people who are using it are flying with it and showing us what it can really do in a way that we didn't even know. We came up with tutors need this, and you said that to us recently. You said, you make things before I know that I need them, yeah? And then what happens is, we then copy how you use it. And that iterative, creative, spontaneous process is what membership and community really is. There's no end to this activity. But what I'm asking you to do is to opt in to what we're creating here. QT membership has immense benefits. Odette spoke to Amazon last week and told them, don't worry, we'll help you find more clients. We did. Don't worry, Amazon will help you find more clients. They wanted us. She's amazing. Odette is out there hustling to make sure that tutors have everything they need. Every platform, every teaching tool, every resource, Oddbox, baked goods. Yes. Why? Because we're hot people, and these are the things that we need. So we are proactively stepping forward to make sure that you have what you need. And it comes down to the digital credentials. So if you're a QT member, you get one of these. And that's where the magic starts, because that's where I need you to be proactive and put it on your email, and put it on your website, and put it on your social media, because then people say, what's that? And the minute that people start saying, what's that, we've got a fair trade. Yeah? Because I didn't know about fair trade, and I didn't know about slavery and the production of chocolate, until I saw a fair trade sign, and it disrupted my thinking and asked me to think deeper. So we know that we need membership, but really what we need is participation to turn it into community. So I'm inviting you now to find out a bit more. And Odette, could you do this bit for me, please? Have we run out of time? No. Just a bit more direction. Okay. So QT membership is an ever-evolving concept based on bringing tutors everything they need. And what that looks like today is far advanced of what it was 6 months ago. And I'm pretty confident to say that in 6 months' time, it'll have evolved again, because this is a spontaneous process. But if you could just explain, please, to the people in the room and the people at home why they need and we need them to opt into QT membership, and lay it on thick. Lay it on thick. They're ready.
They're ready.
But you have to stay in the white box, otherwise bad things happen. Am I right?
I normally stay behind the scenes. Hello, everybody.
She's shy. She's shy.
I'm really shy. QT membership is something beyond special. And every time we add to it, we are adding to it based on your feedback. QT is a grassroots organisation. Every single one of you have made an impact on what it is today. The more members we get, the more it will grow, because the more we understand what we actually need. So QT membership, you can have your CPD training, you can have your enhanced DBS with your digital ID checks at the lowest rate you can get out there. You can have access to discounted, off-call accredited qualifications. You tell us what you need, we'll go and get it. We were talking about double glazing before. I said, I'll go to the double glazing companies. You work for
She will?
I will. I will go.
Insurance. You did insurance last week.
We've done 2. We've just, Markel's in. We've got the insurance. You want a roof like this? Right, we'll find out who does these roofs and we'll go and get it. Because we know if you are happy, the students are happy.
Yes.
And that in turn makes the world a much nicer place to live. What you guys are doing, and Julia leading it forward at Qualified Tutor, is beyond amazing. We hear people talking about policy and regulation. We've got Claire from Pearson in the room, and we're working really closely with them to work out what it is that Pearson can do to help the tutoring world. We're working with 4 different teams at Pearson at the moment, and we will absolutely nail it. And we know we will, and the team at Pearson know we will. But what we need from every single tutor is to opt in.
Yes.
This is about leadership. It's not about sitting and going, oh, well, I don't do that. Oh, in the schools, they do it like that. I'm not interested. We were talking earlier, Carl and I had a glorious conversation earlier about, I can go and knock on the door at Westminster. We're live on YouTube. They're not going to listen to us. We know that that's not going to happen. But what we can do is create the change. And when we create the change and make the noise, they'll come knocking on our door. And they already have. They've come knocking on our door, asking to see what we've created, and said, oh, well, I don't need to make it. No, you don't need to make it. We've already done it. And that's what we do. We become that change. And we need every single one of you next to us. Yes, Julia is the face of Qualified Tutor. However, every single one of you is part of that. And if we do it together, we'll do it quicker.
Mm-hmm.
And because we're not regulated, we're not being stopped by anybody. We're just going. And we're going and we're going. No one's stopping us. Because everybody wants to actually be part of that change. We're not under any regulation to be stopped. We can create exactly what the industry needs. But we need every single one of you next to us. Not behind us, not in front of us, next to us. Of course you can, Vicky.
I just, every now and then I have to just say something.
She's the best.
I think what you two have done, and somehow that little bit has just summarised exactly everything. What you've done, and we can talk about the word safe, you can talk about the word trusted, but literally, I feel like I could trust you and our community with my life. But I believe in what you're saying, and there's no second guessing. You have got the children's best interest at heart and our best interest at heart. And whatever, you are so active with your listening and so responsive, and don't just do it. You know, we talk, it's not like anything else I've ever known. I just had to share that.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Vicky. That means a lot.
Yeah. Hannah can take some of that as well. with
Hannah,
the active
absolutely.
listening.
Hannah, Julia, and I talk quite a lot about.
We talk quite a lot.
We do talk quite a lot. We do quite a lot as well. But one of the things we pride ourselves in is how we behave and how we show up. Julia is asked me if she could go for a little snooze earlier, and I said, "No, you can go at 4 o'clock." when pencil spaces take over the stage. And then
Because
she knows pencil spaces and she's already using it. She loves it. But it's really, really important that we show up and we're part of it. If you're going to say you're going to do something, we're going to do it. We show up with integrity with everything that we do with you. And every time we work with partners, Pencil Spaces, we've built the most amazing relationship over the last year. And we have a really trusted, open relationship that then results in great things for you guys. The membership is totally flexible to meet your needs. And someone said to me, I think it was Claire earlier on, he's like, it's just really affordable. And we're like, yes, we're not greedy. We just want to, everyone wants to pay their mortgage and their rent, let's get through it. But what's really, really important is that we have every single one of you next to us. We do it together. And that's why raising standards in tutoring together is so important.
Mic drop. Thank you, my darling. Thank you. So now you know where the magic really is. I think in your goodie bag, there's 3 months free QT membership. So if you don't have it yet, please make use of it. In 3 months' time, you absolutely won't want to live without it. This is not a sticker. This is community. So I'm going to pause here because I'm exhausted. And I'm going to thank you for participating. And I'm going to thank Ayush for partnering with us in making this event happen. Thank you. Thank you.